Fat loss for busy parents, systems over willpower. In this video, I'm going to explain to you some coachable strategies as someone who has gone through a weight loss myself. About 100 pounds I've been maintaining for a decade at this point. I'm not a parent, okay? I've been chronically single, but I don't want that to discount or have you click away from this. I've coached parents in the past. I used to be a coach for a couple of weight loss companies, one being Ageless Medical Weight Loss Solutions in Lexington, Kentucky, and Dr. Cesar Lara's practice in Tampa Bay, Florida. Well, where is that exactly? It was Clearwater. It was the place above Clearwater, whatever that city was. Oh my goodness, can't even think of it. Tarpon Springs, that's it, Tarpon Springs. So I've coached people that are parents in the past, and they come to me with a lot of similar problems. They are people that ultimately, they may have cared about their health in the past, but things got in the way. You know, you are somebody how you are when you're single, when you're thriving. You are somebody different when you are in a relationship and you've been with somebody over a year, you change and evolve with somebody. And you are for sure somebody different when you start to have kids, when you start to have people under your responsibility that you derive a sense of duty to protect and to serve and to take care of. You are somebody different. But often what happens when parents get into the habits of being a parent, they neglect one of the number one things that are important to people in life, and that's their health. And their body may give out, it may get in the way. And listen, this is something that I'm not going to chastise or guilt anybody or shame or anything like that, because I think being a parent is a very beautiful thing. It's something that I'll strive to be one day, but I got to procure a wife at first. And that's just becoming a difficult endeavor, indeed. Okay, so you are somebody different when you are a parent. And some things that I keep in mind when I've had people talk to me who are parents who are struggling with health is no time, no energy, no effort, and lack of motivation and willpower, okay? Or one thing, well, I just kind of lost my discipline, and just things are with your health and with your body, and things just got out of hand, and I'm just taking care of my kids, I'm taking care of my spouse, all these different things. Everything gets in the way when you start to introduce family life. Now, I want to try to provide the best insight that I can as a single person. Yes, I've never had a family, never really had a long-term relationship either. Is that too much information? I don't care, I'm just kind of talking off the cuff here. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to talk about meals, movement, and mentality. That's kind of the main three things that I coach people on, and they're just the biggest movers in my opinion, and they're just the main things that you can think about when it comes to making some sort of transformation in your health. They're just the big three areas, right? It's how you eat, it's how you move, and how you think about eating and moving. All right, so let's get into meals. Time-efficient meal planning and meal prep habits are what you're going to need as a busy parent. Okay, listen, I'll talk about all the time how there's no short of information out there on the internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, Substack, Twitter, all these different places, Claude, ChatGPT. You have there's no barrier to entry when it comes to information nowadays, okay? Now, I don't say that to chastise or shame you, but it's what you do with that information. And the problem with a lot of information is that it's hard to decipher, well, shit, what exactly works for me and my situation? What's going to work like in real life than all of these words I'm seeing on a screen, right? And so something that I have personally liked, now I'll try to relate to you into one way, okay? If you are a parent, I have worked a lot in my past. I've also had 2 jobs a lot in my 20s. I don't know, I'm in a debt payoff mode since I've hit my 30s. And I also just do a lot of chores around the house, and sometimes I'm with friends, I'm with family, I'm taking care of my family here and there if they ever need something, my parents and sister. And so, yeah, my schedule is, dude, if I was thinking of how I could eat healthy without a plan, it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. I would be going to the quickest and most convenient source of calories possible, whether that be fast food or some stuff that I bought in the store that just looked good to me. I would be going towards just eating out. I already said that, but fast food or dining out or bringing home DoorDash, all these different things as a quick means of calories, because I just, oh my God, I just can't care. I just can't do it. So what do? Okay, so I got 3 types of meals for you that I want you to search online. They are the no-cook, the slow-cook meal, no-cook meal, slow-cook meal, and the quick and easy meal, something that's 10 to 15 minutes. A belief that a lot of people have when it comes to eating healthy is that it takes a lot of time to prepare this stuff and to do the things and to, yada, yada. It's a lot. It can feel like a lot, especially if you've been exposed to a lot of content online that, these people, these chefs, they come on with the quick edits and they just, they're chopping their stuff and they're doing things that they make it look effortless. But if you're juggling a job and kids, you don't have time or the energy or the effort to elaborately plan a gourmet meal that's healthy for you. So no cook options are awesome. They are things that you can just get out of the fridge or get out of the pantry, put together real quick and forget about it. Or you could put together multiple portions for the week in these little containers, whether glass or plastic, and just have at the ready. It's, for me, my go-to one, I'm going to tell you my go-to one is vanilla Greek yogurt with some protein powder, isolate. That's 40 to 45 grams right there of protein. It's frozen mixed berries and a frozen banana and chia seeds. That has been my breakfast dead ass for the last 6 weeks. I have not gotten tired of it. And I can fix 6 portions in under 10 minutes or 5 portions technically, with 1 tub of Greek yogurt, a bag of frozen berries, a big container of chia seeds, and a container that's going to last you for months, and protein powder, which will last you for months as well, depending on how much you get. And that's it. That is it. That is a great breakfast. That gives you your protein, your omega-3 fatty acids from the chia seeds. It gives you some really good sources of antioxidants from the mixed berries, and it tastes good. It tastes awesome. I love it. It just tastes so good. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for something that is not going to take you any time to cook, that is healthy, using no cook options. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. I know, gross, depending on who I'm talking to. I love cottage cheese. I'm a cottage cheese fanatic, okay? The next one is slow cook. You've probably seen this stuff, all kinds. Oh my goodness, there's so many slow cook recipes online that are healthy that you can make work for a calorie deficit, for sure. I'm gonna tell you my go-to. It's chicken breasts with yellow potatoes, onions and peppers chopped with a bag of mixed vegetables, and that's like your peas, carrots, and corn, and some frozen broccoli on top, and the frozen mixed veg as well, and some kind of sauce and seasoning to tie everything together. I let that cook on high. I mash it all together. It's like a big ass stew, and I've got like 9 to 10 portions for my lunch that I can put in glass containers, heat up in the microwave. I'm done. I ain't got to worry about it. I cook like I'm a single parent. I prepare my meals like I ain't got time, and I love to cook. I do like to cook, but your boy just ain't around the kitchen 24/7 a day, 24 hours in a day, or 16 hours in a day. I got to make this stuff work with my own schedule because I'll work 1 or 2 jobs at a time. And slow cooked meals, they don't have to look like what I just mentioned. They can look like anything you want. Just make sure to be careful about the calories and the fat that you put into them. We're looking for things that you can have a good source of protein with, a lot of good vegetables, a slow carb like potatoes or sweet potatoes, or even some kind of pasta if you want to, maybe some whole wheat pasta, just whatever floats your boat. And lastly is the quick and easy meal. Your sheet pan meals, your sheet pan dinners, your 1 skillet meals, maybe some stir fry, maybe some tacos or burritos you can fix real quick. You just ground up some ground beef, and I think that my family just made this the other night. You just chop up some vegetables, like your onions, you have some shredded cheese, you just have some tacos, some healthy tacos, and that's it. So to look up for that, I would look for Reddit or budgetbites.com. That's a really good website. That's what you're going to do for your meals, okay? And one more note on this is to have, when you do start to create these meals for you and your family, you're going to have 12 to 15 meals that the family can eat repeatedly. And I want these meals, again, this is about fat loss, so you're looking for meals that are within like 400 to 700 calories, depending on your calorie maintenance goal. But you're going to be eating 500 below your maintenance, or maybe 500 to 700, depending on how deep of a deficit that you want to go. That still matters. If you've consumed fat loss content, you know that a calorie deficit matters. I don't need to tell you that. So you need to find some way to find simple and repeatable meals of everything that I just talked about there, within the no cook or the slow cook, that you can portion up and make sense for 3 to 4 meals a day that you know you're going to like, that you're going to enjoy, that you can sustain, that aren't going to take a lot of time, that you can just make and not even think about it. Now, a note that I want to talk about here: parents. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know if you're single, you may be with somebody, you may be with your partner that you had kids with. I don't know your situation, but if you are trying to change with a spouse, you're really going to want to rely on them as a means of not a lot of support, but just enough support to keep them, you know, just saying, hey, just keep them included. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think something that I've had people come to me a lot about is like, Jordan, I'm just trying to make this change, but you know, my partner's not 100% in it with me. They kind of say they are, but it's kind of tough to change with them. And this is like, it's a no-fault problem. It's like, it's not the spouse's fault that they're not wanting to be 100% on board with you, because this may be an endeavor that you're wanting to go through and you know is important to you. But I mentioned in another video about fat loss with older adults is that a lot of times people just, when they go through life, they change with each other, they change themselves along with the other person, and they share a lot of time together. They share a lot of meals together, which means they share a lot of eating habits together too. So this is one of those situations where you kind of have to have that tightrope of saying, I need to do what's best for my body, but I also need to make sure I'm maintaining good relationships at home with food. Goodness, I tried to help one time with a person at Dr. Lara's back in Florida, who came in for a consultation. He was a father, he was a parent, and he told me he had a wife and 2 girls or something. And we were explaining this whole program to him, and it's a very strict program that involved having appetite suppressants and eating a very, very low calorie diet. I'm talking like 500 to 1,000 calories a day. Terrible. It works, but it's terrible. And he's looking at this, he's looking at the food list, and he's looking at all the things that he can't do and the things that we want him to do, which is lean proteins and vegetables most of the time. I mean, it's such a boring ass diet, but again, it works pretty well. And he's having such a hard time doing this because he's not even making it a secret. He's letting us know, I feel so overwhelmed with this already because I know I'm not going to be able to do this with my family. My family is going to be totally against this. And he's probably shouldering the burden of trying to make this change with his family, because he probably has, I don't want to assume or infer too much, but what he told me with his body language and with his language, just his demeanor, his tone of voice, is that I don't have a say in this house for how I want to change. I have to go and be adherent to what everyone else does. My health doesn't matter, but their eating habits matter more over the change that I want to make, is what he was telling me with his language and just how he, and I told him, listen, I just want you to come back and think about this. It sounds like you're not ready to commit, because where I worked, it was a 1,200 to 1,500 calorie, dollar program that we were giving people, and or not giving, but charging. And I just told him, listen, I don't think you're in the right headspace to do this. I just want you to think about it. He never came back. Okay, and I didn't have the insight like I told him now. If he were in front of me today, here's what I would tell that man. You deserve to make a change for yourself. You deserve to be a steward and a student and a steward of your body and your health. The goal that you're looking for matters. And the tough part about it is that there's a trade-off that you're not willing to make right now. You're not willing to step into the reality of, this matters to me. I don't care what y'all think. I need to do this. And they probably had comments for him if they were waiting for him, and saying, honey, girls, I want to start to do this. And they're like, well, I'm not going to eat that, you know? And he probably didn't want to face that. And that's totally understandable. We don't want to sacrifice the connection we have with others if it means we're going to sabotage them. You know? That's just human. There's no easy answer for that. It's fun to talk about. For me, I could talk about it a lot, but it's not easy. So let's talk about movement for fat loss and the busy parent. You are looking for time-efficient strategies regarding strength training, okay? I'm not going to be asking you to do 4 to 6 days in the gym or with some sort of physical activity. I'm going to be asking you to do about 2 to 3 days of 20 to 30 minutes of really intense workouts that challenge the body and challenge the muscles. This is going to be really helpful because a lot of people think, and there's a lot of content online about a lot of movement patterns and workout programs and specialized things that a lot of personal trainers do, but not so much about what works for the busy parent. So when I think about the busy parent, I'm thinking you get yourself a pair of dumbbells, you get yourself a kettlebell or something like that, and you figure out a program that's going to work within your own current limitations and capabilities. So what I'm thinking about is your time in the day is, again, you probably mentioned to yourself, I just ain't got no time. In the morning, I'm taking care of somebody. At the end of the night, I'm taking care of somebody. Where's the care for me? Where's the care for my movement, right? You're probably thinking that. And so you're going to need to identify some good, either, like I said, dumbbells or kettlebells or body weight movements, push-ups, squats, maybe getting a pull-up bar for the house, maybe going to your apartment gym, dusting off the equipment there. I'm not even going to plan for the gym because I just don't know what your schedule looks like, but I'm thinking of like the worst case situation. If somebody told me I simply cannot go to the gym, Jordan, thus I cannot move. And I would say, you can move. We need to rethink and re-identify with what movement's going to look like for your situation. And it may look like, listen, I know you may have an idea of like thinking I got to put some weight under the bar to move my body. I'm thinking of fathers here. I got to deadlift, I got a barbell squat. You ain't got to do shit like that to have a body. That's not how I work out because I had a sciatic problem doing that. So I'm kind of not wanting to do squats or deadlifts. But you can easily do high rep body weight squats and high rep push-ups and high rep pull-ups and chin-ups. That is a lot of what people can adhere to, and that's easy. You can do that stuff at the house, my friend. It's just about finding the will to get started doing that and rethink about what movement's going to mean for you, finding time-efficient strategies to do it, not overwhelming yourself with a big-ass program, okay? So, like I said, movement breaks throughout the day rather than blocks and chunks of time. So for Fat Boss, you are going to want to resistance train to start 1 or 2 days a week. At the end, maybe 2 to 4, okay? And this is like, if you're starting 1 or 2 months into it, you can get away with doing 1 to 2 days a week. But if you want to really start to see results, 2 to 4 days are going to be the money. You're going to be on the money for that. And steps for fat loss. Okay, steps are going to be important for you. You're going to want to focus on something called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, as it's commonly referred to online. You may have heard this before if you've consumed a lot of content, but if you're unfamiliar with it, this is the movement that we do that I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of moving in place. I'm moving my body around, fidgeting, swaying my arms. This is NEAT right here, right? It's just the movements, the small little movements that you do throughout the day. And if you can figure out small little ways to have little movement breaks, to kind of fidget and do things, or just kind of move up and down, maybe some jumping jacks in place, maybe it's like doing some high knees or anything, that's considered a movement break, especially if you do it for like 5 to 10 minutes. So if you're a busy mom and you're juggling a job and you've got, you're taking care of a baby, maybe a toddler as well, you are going to be with them, you are attentive to them, 24/7, right? Or even if you're working and you got somebody to take care of them, it's taking care of kids, work, take care of kids. Where's the time for me? Okay, we're going to do some movement breaks. We're going to go in the kitchen if you're cooking up meals or if you're taking care of kids with making them eat. I'm saying this like it's such an alien thing. Yes, you must make your kids eat to function. I don't have kids, but anyways, you're doing all this, but you're going to try to sneak in different ways to get that NEAT in. That can look like steps. It can look like fidgeting, the high knees, something that you move up and down with, jumping, bouncing, just small little things, dancing. Hey, dance in your house, dude. Dance at work. I actually did that once out on the break. I just did some, I put my headphones in and I was just like, man, I want to dance to some Kylie Minogue or something. I was in a Kylie Minogue fever for a while there. And I just wanted to dance at work and I did that. And did I care who was looking? No. But any way to think about how you can start to take care of yourself, here's a good aphorism for you and for anyone, whether you're a parent or not. Good motions are going to create good emotions. Okay, if you are not moving, you're probably feeling bad. And you're probably stuck scrolling on the phone or something. Or you're just in bed and it's like, just don't care. Get up and move. Move around. Start walking. Don't want to go outside? Walk around your house. That's going to create good emotions because the endorphins and the blood flow is going to be going up from here in your body up to your brain. And that is going to translate to your nervous system. Your nervous system is going to be like, oh, okay, are we doing something? Hey, okay, let's not think about what's bad. Let's think about what's good. Let's get the gears turning. Good motions create good emotions. Remember that. And lastly, about movement for fat loss. You want to set your environment up for movement. I kind of already touched on this. If you don't have access, it's just going to be depending on what kind of access you have in your day and what kind of equipment you have available to you. If you just have your body, you just have your body. That's enough. If you just have dumbbells or a kettlebell, that is enough. Or a yoga mat. It's all about what can you consistently adhere to over the week. That's not going to feel like it's going out of your way or taking time away from your kids, right? Now, lastly, let's talk about the mentality of fat loss for the busy parent. Now, we talked about systems and the meals and the movement. If you're trying to maintain a calorie deficit, it's all about having a good system of meals ready for you that you know you're going to enjoy and that fit within your calories that are under your maintenance. And it's about doing enough movement to compensate for that deficit or increase the deficit so that you may have fat be used as a source of energy to be pulled for it. That's the whole system side of things. That's the habits. Now I want to talk about the mentality because the mentality is such an important part. There's a reason that it's my favorite thing to talk about because it's that important. It's the main thing that I have to give to you, my friend, that you're not going to find on Claude or ChatGPT or the internet, okay? Be a student and a steward of your body. What does that mean? When I say being a student, you learn and you grow and you adapt. When you fail, and trust me, you are going to fail. You're going to fix a meal that you're not going to like. You're going to move some type of way that's going to hurt. You're going to step on the scale and not see movement in 1 or 2 weeks. And you're not going to know what it is. And that's going to suck ass. And that, to me, could be framed as failure. But it's also could be framed in a way for you to understand what could I do better or what could I improve on. What did I do that I felt I tried and I gave my all in but really didn't work, so I need to adjust and do that. You can hire a coach for this if you want that taken care of. But being a student of your body is kind of coaching yourself. You're trying to gradually make these habits work for your lifestyle rather than against yourself, rather than against what you're doing and what you got going on. And a lot of this is about regulating your emotions as well. And that's where the steward of your health comes in this, because when I think of student, I think of the systems side, figuring out your meals and getting that really good and down. It's getting your movement, it's getting your sleep, taking care of your stress, your coping mechanisms. That's the system side of things. That's the habits. But when I think about being a steward of your health, I'm thinking about your values and your beliefs. I'm thinking about your confidence, your esteem, how you think about yourself. What's your opinion of yourself? What are your standards? Do you need to raise them? Do you need to lower them? What are your expectations? Do you need to raise them? Do you need to lower them? These things matter because a lot of our reality, a lot of our goals that are met are found within the values and the thoughts that we hold and believe to be true. Okay? What do you identify as? I guarantee you identify yourself and you affiliate yourself with something. Are you a Christian? Are you a Democrat? Do you identify as an agnostic? Are you a volunteer? Are you a hard worker? Right? These are identity affiliations. We affiliate ourselves with a word or an adjective of something that we do and how people observe us. If somebody were to observe you, what would they realistically say about you? What do you think? You know, that matters. Sometimes we are totally internally motivated to change, especially if you're a busy parent. You want to get back to a certain body, a certain lifestyle that you had before you were one. But life gets in the way and you have different priorities and different duties. That's not bad. It's just a new reality that you got to get used to. You got to get used to how exactly you're going to prioritize yourself with kids, because your body still matters. Your health still matters. Okay? I don't care what that story in your head tells yourself. I just don't have the time. I can't do anything. It doesn't matter to me. I'm already too far gone. I don't care about that. I know that might I know that might be true in what that feels in your body. But that's what your nervous system has been telling you so much that it feels like the truth. And I want you to break the truth so you can get to a new, unfamiliar heaven. This is an aphorism that I've, thought of in my head so many times, is that we often settle for the familiar hell rather than the unfamiliar heaven. We rather settle for what we got than step into the fear of uncertainty to something good that we may have. Right? I'm gonna let that sit for a bit. You'd rather settle for the body you have than the unfamiliar heaven of the body you could have. Okay? I hope that wasn't in a shaming or guilt language. It may have came off that way, but I love you. I don't want shame or guilt to exist within this paradigm, with how I'm trying to get this message across to you. Because shame and guilt is going to keep you the same. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I know I should have done that. That's shame. Okay? I want you to let go of that. You've got enough on your belt, or you've got enough on your shoulders. You've got enough tools under your belt. You've got enough weight that you carry day and day being a parent that has nothing, or that has no time for yourself. But I'm here to tell you, you got to figure it out gradually and find those small shifts within your schedule to prove to yourself that your body and your health matters. You need the evidence once again. If you proved it to yourself when you were single or when you were with your spouse, you need to prove it to yourself once more with this new reality that you're in. Okay? So, focus on your kids as a good external motivator. All of what I just said was like the internal motivations was, confronting your values and what you prioritize and getting used to that. Use your kids, man. Use them as a sense of motivation and a sense of, dude, I need to do this for myself. If not for them, if not for me, for them. I need to do this for them. Okay? Use that. That's not a crutch to just be like, oh, well, I guess I know I need to, but I want you to think about how you're going to age as you go through life. If you got kids that are 5 or 10 years old, or maybe younger, maybe a little older. Let's say you got kids that are under 18, right? Which are kids in general, right? All kids under 18 are kids. And then they become adults. Anyways, think about the example that you're going to be setting for them. All right? Think about that. What you choose to do with your actions, they absorb. They take it all in. Your kids do. They mimic it. They hold on to it. You are their greatest role model. And you need to think to yourself, how do I want to represent how a person should be in this world, how an adult should be for their health to them? Think about that. Okay? That's a lot. I know. That's like stuff like, man, I just don't want to confront that. I'd rather just retreat to a bottle or retreat to Andy's frozen yogurt than actually confront that. But I say, go right towards it, my friend. Go right towards it. That's the answer. Yep. How do you want them to see you? How will you make it work for your health? Because your body matters. Your health matters. Your goal matters. You want to lose fat? It matters. Emotional regulation as the -- skill to adapt for continued consistency. So consistency is the name of the game. I should know that. Took me 2 years to lose 100 pounds. I gained about 30 to 40 in my 20s, lost it again. What was the answer? Consistency. Okay. We're not looking for unrealistic patterns. We're not looking to do crash diets. If you want to do a GLP-1, I think that's great. Think of the lifestyle modifications you got to make along with that so you can maintain what you lose with the GLP-1. But consistency is another way of saying, how am I going to do this until I'm in a box, until I'm in the ground or burned to ashes? I don't mean to get morbid on you. That's a reality. How are you going to want to choose to be consistently for the rest of your life? Okay? I've done all I can to figure out what I can do for myself as a single person. It's going to change when I'm in a relationship. It's going to change when I'm a parent. And I think about that. I think about how I'm going to have to adapt to it. I think about how I'm going to have to trade things, trade my life, trade things that I used to care about for something else. Think about the compromises I'm going to have to make. You know, it's possible I will gain weight. It's possible that I will gain weight when I enter these things, these new periods of life, these new circumstances. You know, it's normal. But I'm going to remember what I said in this video. I'm going to remember that I need to be a student of my body and a steward for my health. I'm going to remember that if I was consistent before, I can be consistent again. And if you can be consistent before, you can be consistent once more as a parent. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you got to the end of this, listen, you got any questions, you let me know. You obviously care enough to watch to the end here. And hopefully I presented everything in a good way that was not like attacking you. I just want to give you a good dose of reality along with some good motivation and education to go along with it. With all that being said, I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.